But by now, little in Diana's life was as it appeared. The media interest in the impending birth was intense. So much so that Diana couldn't handle the pressure and wanted labor to be induced. But she recalled, it was difficult to schedule a birth date around the father-to-be's polo matches.
When we had William, we had to find a date in the dark that suited him and his polo. Because William had to be induced because I couldn't handle the pressure any longer. It was becoming unbearable. It was as if everybody was monitoring every day for me. Anyway, the boy arrived, great excitement, thrills, everyone was absolutely on high as a kite. We found a day that Charles could get off his polo pony for me to give birth. That was very nice. I felt very grateful about that.
As Britain celebrated its new heir,
he's in marvellous form.
Diana retreated into depression.
Came home, and then postnatal depressions hit me hard. And it wasn't so much the baby that had produced it, it was the baby that triggered off all else that was going on in my mind. Boy, was I troubled.
And it turns out that Britain's royal family, which already has a little prince, is due for a royal addition in late September.
On February 14th, 1984, Valentine's Day, Diana's second pregnancy was announced. It came as something of a surprise for Diana because by then, she said, Charles was back in the arms of Camilla.
By then I knew he'd gone back to his lady, but somehow we managed to have Harry.
Nonetheless, Diana recalled that pregnancy as the happiest time of her married life.
We were very, very close to each other 6 weeks before Harry was born, the closest we've ever been and ever will have been.
Their closeness was short-lived, she said, because Charles had been hoping for a girl.
And then suddenly, as Harry was born, it just went bang, our marriage, the whole thing went down the drain. And Charles, all he wanted was a girl.
What's more, Diana said Charles was horrified at Prince Harry's red hair, a distinctive Spencer family trait.
First comment was, oh God, it's a boy. Second comment, oh, and he's even got red hair. So something inside me closed off.
But the couple kept up appearances. As in this 1985 British TV documentary called The Prince and Princess of Wales Talking Personally, in which Diana continued to play the role of the ideal royal consort.
I feel my role is supporting my husband.
She even had a cheery explanation for her weight loss.
Maybe I'm so scrawny, it's because I take so much exercise. Don't know.
But the truth was the talk of the palace. Diana said the Queen herself spread the stories Charles told about her.
He definitely told her about my bulimia, and she told everybody that was the reason why our marriage had cracked up, because Diana's eating. Must be so difficult for Charles.
Despite their joint public appearances in the late 80s, Charles and Diana lived separate lives. Diana took solo trips abroad and related to people in a way no royal had ever done before, bringing comfort to lepers and AIDS patients.
This particular man was so ill, he started crying when I sat on his bed and held my hand, so I thought, right, Diana, do it. Go on, just do it. So I gave him an enormous hug, and it was just so touching as he clung to me and he cried, and it was wonderful. We made him laugh.
It was a time of cruel contradiction for Diana. On the outside, adoring crowds and exciting work, while on the inside, she was isolated, depressed, and more desperate than ever.
I've got what my mother's got. However bloody you're feeling, you can put on the most amazing show of happiness.
What had happened during the 1980s was a parallel universe. That the world had lived in the fairy tale, Diana had lived in the nightmare, and she felt utterly powerless inside this system.
Powerless and bitterly jealous of Camilla, especially after Charles apparently stopped sleeping with his wife altogether after their 1987 royal trip to Portugal.
Shop closed up very quickly after Portugal, and that was it. And whether that meant that Camilla would come back in a big vengeance, I have no idea. I have no proof.
She talked about Camilla a great deal in one or two of the lighter discussions about Camilla, as she would say herself. You know, what she found difficult to understand is how on earth she was losing out to a girl who had, you know, bad teeth and smoking and had dandruff.
convinced she'd been cast aside by her husband for his old flame. In the mid-1980s, Diana herself turned to others for affection. In July 1986, Diana met James Hewitt at a party. She arranged for Hewitt to give her writing lessons and more.
Hewitt, to give him his due, helps to give her a sense of self-esteem, and it's the first proper relationship she has with a man roughly her own age.
Hewitt would not be her only lover. And while Diana railed against her husband's paramour in these tapes, she never mentioned her own extramarital affairs at all. Ken Wharf, who was Diana's bodyguard at the time, says the princess was open with him about her love life, but still clearly wanted Charles back.
I don't think she used it as a closing on her marriage. I think it was a statement. I think it was a statement saying, well, look, you know, if you can do this, so can I. And I think it was a protest.
While the palace seemed prepared to continue the charade of a happy royal household, Diana's friends said she refused to spend the rest of her life living a lie.
A large number of people around Diana saw her going fairly steeply downhill. They all knew what was going on. It was hardly going to remain a secret for long.
In fact, a climax was fast approaching. Diana was about to reveal her secret anguish to the world.
And I cried like I've never cried before. It was anger. It was 7 years of pent-up anger coming out.
When we return, Diana's innermost thoughts are revealed, plus personal videotapes that offer a rare and candid glimpse at Diana inside her Kensington Palace home.
If you come in here, you sit down and be quiet.
We'll be very quiet.
Very quiet.
A suicidal princess.
I threw myself down the stairs.
It was the anguish the world never heard. 6 secret tapes. Diana's own words revealed for the first time.
My husband made me feel so inadequate in every possible way.
Now, more explosive confessions and stunning revelations.
It was 7 years of pent-up anger coming out.
Including Diana's dramatic face-to-face confrontation with her husband's mistress.
I said to Camilla, don't treat me like an idiot.
And in another worldwide exclusive, never-before-seen video of Diana inside her palace home. Rare glimpses of candor and laughter. And haunting predictions about her destiny.
And you always knew I'd never be next queen.
An NBC special. Princess Diana, The Secret Tapes.
Was the handsome prince in love with his princess? We thought so, or wanted to believe it. Buckingham Palace wanted us to believe the royal marriage was a happy one. It was not. Tonight, more revelations about her health, how she felt like a captive in the royal household, how she confronted the other woman in her husband's life, and how she plotted and schemed to get her story told.
Here is the stuff of which fairy tales are made. The prince and princess on their wedding day. Fairy tales usually end with the simple phrase, they lived happily ever after.
The new princess had great hope that wish